Auto Off Topic, episode 162. What's up, Andrew?
What's up, Brad?
Not too much. We're sitting here way off site today. Not in PBD, not in Phoenix, but in... Is it still Phoenix?
I think it's Glendale.
I mean, you live here. You should probably know what it is.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's Glendale, but
Right.
I pay Phoenix taxes, so...
It's like a suburb of Phoenix.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, so we're here in Glendale in a garage after our guest's kid went to bed.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right.
We're with Brian from the GearHead project.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. So Brian's been on before.
I have.
We talked about the basics of what the GearHead project was at the time. It was the work-life parallel. If you could modify a car, you could modify your life. That was like
That's right.
your two big things, right?
Was that like season 1 of Auto Off Topic podcast?
If we had seasons, maybe.
Yeah, we don't do seasons. It's the early episodes, I think.
Yeah,
Early
it's
episodes.
early.
Under the 100s.
The young timers, the old timers.
Yeah.
I mean, we're only at 162, so if you want to break it to like 100 episodes as a season, that's first season out of 2.
There you go.
Anyway, so that is basically was your credo, was the modify your life like you modify a car. Like, make your life better, work-life parallel. Don't waste your life, basically, is your... Enjoy your life, have fun, do things.
Right? Isn't that what we all want, though?
Yeah, exactly. So the GearHead project since then has moved on a little bit. Did you have a podcast yet then? I think you had just started the podcast, maybe?
You know what the name came out of? That was the podcast name when it was still Gearbox Magazine.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, because Gearbox Magazine was your old print magazine.
yes.
And then it became GearHead Project after Gearbox
Right.
Magazine. And Gearbox Magazine was pretty Mitsubishi-centric, because you're obviously Mitsubishi-centric as well.
Mostly,
which is
yeah.
how we know you.
Yeah, it actually started out as Mitsubishi Gearbox Magazine.
Okay. I remember I was an early subscriber to the newsletter, but I don't remember much beyond that, because that was like in 2008?
2009.
2009? Okay.
2009.
It was a while ago, 'cause I
Yep.
remember where I was working at the time. And
I've
I was all excited, because I'm Mitsubishi Magazine, I'm in.
Right. And I think it was probably the third or fourth time we tried to start one. I think I started one a couple times prior with like the now long since defunct and turned into like a Korean porn site, Team 2G.
Okay. I won't search that then.
No.
At least not in a public
I wanted to
place.
check it out to see if I could find an old thread to see what was the date that we did that. Did I find that? And I typed up the site and I was like, whoa, I'm not going to go to that site
So you
again.
need to go to the Internet Wayback Machine and then type the site in.
Yeah,
Then
when you're
you might
looking
be
back
able
to the
find
early
it.
forum days, that's probably
Yeah.
the best bet these days. Like, oh, hey, we have a high domain authority URL here
Yeah.
that nobody's using because the forum's dead. Let's go ahead and put porn on it.
Yeah, Internet is a weird place, but
Yeah.
we all know that. That's not a surprise here. So the next step for the GearHead project, I think print magazines are still on like the maybe kind of end of things. Is that where we're at?
Yes and no. Yes, actually.
right.
Yes, we are working on a print issue. That is the super
Okay.
issue that we've been working on.
And we were on your podcast talking about that like 4 months ago.
April. Yeah, my initial timeline was record all the conversations in April, transcribe everything and type up all the articles in May, have it built in June and publish sometime over the summer to give people an idea of like, I'm going to do something cool this summer. Maybe I'll start a podcast. Maybe I'll start a business. Maybe I'll start a car show, whatever. We thought, yeah, we'll get that out. But then it was other stuff came up and it seemed like that was a better use of time. And then, you start looking at it like, well, what's it going to take to actually do this right? I don't want to be like rushing towards arbitrary deadlines. So It's been a busy year for me outside of cars. So it's just kind of sitting around. But
That pesky personal life always gets in the way.
yeah, the IRL, as I call it, the in real life.
Yeah.
But funny you say that because there is a local podcast, Us, that does their own print magazine.
Print magazine, yeah.
Like every couple months or something.
Which we haven't got an issue of yet, but I'm on the list to get the next one, I think.
Okay, you want to check it out? Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't got one.
What's that one?
The Revival
Revival
Motoring podcast.
Revival Motoring.
Yeah. They're very local to the Northeast. They're in Connecticut, I think.
Southern Mass.
Other side of Mass? Okay.
Am I wrong in saying that immediately strikes me as an outsider as like Petrolicious for the East Coast?
It does, and their logo is very, like, pseudo-classy, but they're, like, Mark III Volkswagen kids.
Okay.
Like, they're not, like...
I can dig it.
They're not stuffed shirts.
I can dig it. I can dig it.
I think they're probably... I say kids. I mean, they're probably in
They're
their
our
30s
age.
and 40s.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
they're
our
probably like us.
Yeah.
Like,
Kids like us.
yeah, kids like us. We're always going to be kids.
Ricers.
Yeah.
Right. Like, we were in high school yesterday,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Newsflash, we're old now.
No, we're not. Our listeners need to know that we are young, hip cats.
Hip.
Hip cats.
Hip cats, as the kids say these days.
So this is when we talk about the weather, right? And
No, we're not talking about that today.
No.
There is no weather. We're in a garage.
We're going to go yeet some stuff, and you can flex your
We're
knowledge.
going to eat some stuff?
Yeet.
Eat.
Yeet.
I don't know what eat is.
yeet.
Is that what you sprayed yourselves? It mosquitoes away?
I don't know. It's
No.
it's a thing that kids say. Yeet.
Okay.
I still every once in a while will say skeet skeet, and when I do, I always feel like I'm like Borat. When I skeet skeet, like I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm just embarrassing myself.
There's a flashback to the Korean porn joke there, but I'll leave it alone.
Okay.
Okay, so we have old people sitting around a garage in Glendale, Arizona today.
Right.
Right. All right.
right.
So we've established that we're not young anymore.
No. But we're going back to forums.
Yes.
Yes.
Because we want to be young again. It all ties in.
Right.
Yeah.
We
exactly.
missed our days of our youth when we had forums on which to
Back in
talk
my
cars.
day.
Actually, that's not even true because we were young. We had like angelfire.net
Oh yeah.
In Yahoo groups.
and Yahoo groups
Yeah,
and
yeah,
web
yeah.
rings and all this awful, horrible stuff.
Remember when what was it? Not DSM Talk. It was DSM.org. You could have like an email address at DSM.org.
Yeah, I think I did. I
Or
have
the
one? I
Talon
might have had
Digest.
one.
You get a Talon Digest email address. That's what it
Also,
was.
my favorite website as a young DSM enthusiast was the Talon Temple. My friend was the Talon
the
Temple.
Talon
It had some
Temple.
really good Photoshop work of 3 Talons parked in front of like
You sure it was Photoshop or was it
pyramid.
Paint?
whatever it was. It was not good.
Aldous PageMaker.
Yeah, we'll have to go to,
The
as we
Wayback.
talked about before, the Internet Wayback Machine and type in Talon Temple and see if we can still get a picture
Yeah,
of it.
That would be cool.
Because that was back in the day. But fast forward a little bit from Angel Fire, web rings, everybody having their own personal website where they could post whatever they wanted.
The last 15 years have been obliterated by Facebook.
Right.
And
Yeah.
forums basically died like the last 5 years, right? Because everybody just migrated to Facebook.
Yeah.
But the annoying thing about Facebook is that the groups, like, and I know I'm seeing advertisements for Facebook groups on like TV,
Yeah.
but they're like super annoying. Like every car group that I'm in is like cool for like 5 minutes, and you're like, no, this is super annoying because somebody starts posting some crazy shit, or like you see something cool, you're like, that's cool, and then you want to go back to it to look at it, and it's like impossible to find.
Yeah, and then they splinter almost immediately. Like, hey, we've got a Triumph Spitfire group, and I'm pulling this completely out of my ass. And then, like, 2 days later, okay, we have the Minneapolis St. Paul, Spitfire group. But then we have the Minneapolis Spitfire
So
group.
not to throw Radwood under the bus, but that happened with Radwood.
Right.
Like we had the Radwood page, and then the Radwood page all of a sudden was like 300 people. It's like now it's 3,000 people. Now it's 20,000 people. Now it's unmanageable and ridiculous. So now we need to have break off. We have a Boston Radwood and a California Radwood and a Texas Radwood.
It sounds like you're saying there should be a single site where you could, if you like Radwood, you could go and then you could see like, oh, here's all the Radwood stuff.
Radwood/forum/.com.
Yeah, because like, oh, Southwest Radwood. Because you guys, I mean, like, I live in Phoenix, and like, you have been through here so many times before you moved out here, Brad. It was like, all right, so Brad's got a car. He's going like, and Andrew, like, now they're going to Radwood in Atlanta, and now they're going to Radwood in Texas.
Brad's in
and now
town for 2 minutes. Let's go get
Vegas.
lunch.
Yeah,
One of 2
Vegas.
days he's here.
Yeah, so
I
it's
live
just-
here now, though.
Yeah,
Fast forward to now.
Right.
So we can get lunch every day if you want. It's fine.
that's budgetary.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can't do that either. We can get dollar tacos every day if you want.
Yeah,
Yeah, so the problem, to get back to it, so what happened with Facebook is that it kind of killed all the forums. Now you've got all these different groups, but the problem is that it's so ubiquitous, everybody just goes to Facebook. So you have to go where the people are.
Mhm.
So that's why there was only a Radwood group on Facebook, not a forum, because it doesn't make any sense to make a forum because nobody would go there.
Right.
But, Brian, what you're trying to do is create the better forum?
yeah, it's somewhere between forum, like, and I don't ever want to get into that social media thing. Like we're not building the Facebook of anything, but
Yeah.
like if I like to
We're
think
building
of
the forum of forums.
I like to think of it as every gearhead who's sick of Facebook's shit. Like, this is a lifeboat. You're invited. Let's all hop in here and go to some place that's structured and organized, that we know what to expect, and it's easy to find things. But it's not just another Montero forum or a Mitsubishi forum or a rally forum. It's kind of, if you like cars and your life's better because of cars and you actually take this shit seriously, let's hang out.
Better/worse. All at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
I like to think better. Like the pursuit of better instead
The
of
pursuit
more.
of better.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'll go along with that. That's pretty
Yeah.
good. The pursuit of better.
Yeah, because like the hard thing with Facebook, it just kind of just like they control what you can see.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
That's aggravating from an advertising standpoint. Like
It
us
is.
as a podcast, we have a Facebook page,
Yeah.
and we can put the post on Instagram and get tons of people seeing it, interacting with
and
it.
we'll push it to Facebook.
We push it to Facebook, and it must get like buried by some algorithm. So that as far as businesses go, Facebook is starting to fail miserably unless you have Budweiser money and can push your ad to the top every day.
Well,
Which
you have to spend the advertising.
Right.
But then you can like the other weird thing is where it will what was I gonna say? Where it's like the original AOL, right? Everybody went to AOL because that was your access to the internet.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now, without realizing it, we've begun to use Facebook as our access to the internet. There's the entire internet outside of this website called Facebook.
Right.
But the only thing we do is spend all of our time on this one website called Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it too. I
Yeah.
go on and I look at it because I just see what people are doing, and
Right.
it's super easy. But like, it would be better if I didn't have to go to multiple forums
Right.
for all the vehicles I have. If I
Mhm.
can just go to one forum, I get all my friends to go to one forum
Right.
and put their stuff up.
But it's also the problem with Facebook is that you have Mitsubishi Monteros, and then you have Mitsubishi Monteros SRs, and then you have Mitsubishi Montero Group run by somebody else, and then you
And
have
then you have the
Mitsubishi
Mark 1,
Montero
Mark
Group
2s
over
in the
here,
UK,
and then
yeah.
you have Mitsubishi Montero Group over here, and they're all Montero groups. And then I'm like, oh, I need a part for Montero. I should post to the Montero group, but I have 37 different Montero groups
Yeah.
I have to post it to in order to make sure everybody sees it and I can get that part. Instead of having one Montero group or one common place where everybody who's into Monteros but also might be into 67 Spitfires is
Yeah.
on the same page.
Right. And that's here. So there's two things that I find that are interesting about the Facebook conundrum. Right. We all go there because that's where everybody is.
This sucks to log on.
Right.
Yeah.
So two things. Number one, like now it's to the point where, in a sense, we don't really go there. We just stay there.
Exactly.
And we don't really go elsewhere. Because when you said like I go to Facebook, well, where else? Think about it. Where else do you go for if you're not looking for like address or like a part or something you need to buy these days?
Google.
Well, yeah, but Google, you're going to Google to search. But like I've thought about this sometimes. Like back in the day, you might be like, okay, well maybe I want to go check out, like you'd have something like you want to go to like the photography forum or the saltwater fish tank forum or maybe a sailing, go sail some sort of topic you'd be interested in. You would Google the topic and go there.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, we're all on Facebook, and if you're leaving Facebook for anything, there's really no social component to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for a widget. I'm looking for an answer to a specific problem. I need a case for my recorder. I need a Hawaiian restaurant that takes reservations,
Well, I think a lot of what happened with Facebook was Facebook came on the scene, and people would go to Facebook because it was personal. Your name was there, your photo was there. There was the expectation that the person, Brian, who I know in real life, is going to act like Brian, who I know in real life, on Facebook because he has to, because it's his name, it's his face, it's his image, it's his brand. That's Brian. That's how Brian's going to act. But Facebook at some point has taken a corner to its, not you in particular throwing you under the bus,
No, I
but
know
maybe
exactly
we'll
what
call
you
some
mean.
guy over here named Jeff, who I know Jeff in real life, and I'll shake
Fucking
Jeff's
Jeff.
hand, and he's awesome. But online, I'll post something about my car, and then he'll talk about how, I don't know, the opposite political party that he likes has ruined car manufacturing. And it's like, where did that come from? We don't want that. And
Well,
then
it came from the algorithm, of course. It came from the echo chamber. Oh, he liked this one. Or, Brad, you like this one. It's like Instagram. Oh, you liked your friend's watch picture.
Yeah.
We're going to serve up watch pictures.
Right.
Every
Or
third
this
Instagram.
fictional Jeff will be like, oh, I saw Brad has different political opinions than me. I better bring it up on his car posts just so he knows I disagree with him and we can argue about it online.
Yeah.
And that's a huge issue with what Facebook has become. It's become divisive in everything, and the divisiveness has carried over into our little car groups and our little, which even aren't little anymore, because now it's you have these people you don't know that come in there, and even though they have their picture and their name, they don't seem to care, and they'll just
Right.
be they'll call you names and make fun of your stuff to your face now, pretty much.
And it's weird because the technology that we were promised, this was the thing, like, I think unconsciously we all liked about the forums, is now all of a sudden, like, I remember dial-up, like, I remember a rotary phone.
Yeah, we're about the same age. We did.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, if you didn't hear about it from your friends at school, like, we had limited scope of knowledge and information. And then we got online, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, shit, I know more people with the same exact cars I've got on the other side of the planet than I know neighbors on my block, which is legit true today. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, cool, I'm meeting people all over the world, and we have this thing in common. The world's really cool. This is exciting. I want to know more. And then all of a sudden, like, hey, connect all of your friends. Like, let's have everybody come together and build this global community. And it's like, it's fun, it's neat, and everything's super convenient. And the forum started to die. Oh, this one dropped off. That one dropped off. This one sold out to some PR firm and got barfed up full of ads, and that one died off. And then it's like you got down to where you only had a couple of forums left. And you spent all your time on Facebook and other places, and then you were like... It was like making, like I've said this on my podcast before. It's like, it was like making an extra stop. It's like, you know what? Do I really need to get mayonnaise, or do I want to get the stuff at Whole Foods? Like,
well, no, that's the whole Walmart brand of things.
Yeah,
Like, I can go to Walmart and I can buy everything in one place. I can buy a pair of pants and a gallon of milk.
So and that's exactly it. The same things happen to forums that happen to Main Street USA. You know, in the big box days.
Oh, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, it's
Walmart
one-stop
is
shopping.
Facebook.
Yeah,
right.
Well, it's like we have a local grocery store here in the Phoenix area called Fry's.
Yeah,
and Fry's is a grocery store. I went to a Fry's the other day that had a clothing section.
Yeah,
and my mind was blown. I was like, "What is it?" I had to like look around, make sure I wasn't in a Walmart. Or groceries and clothes and our Fry's. I was like, "What?" They called it Fry's. I forget some other name for it. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, "What is going on?" But they also had a whole section of die-cast cars.
Yeah,
I was like, "What? This is weird."
I'm on board.
And if you look
I was like, sold. I'm driving this one every time now.
I don't know if it was on the receipt or on the bottom of the bag, but you'll see like Fry's. There's like 12 grocery chains across the country, like Dillon's in the Midwest, and like all over the country. So there's like 20 different grocery stores. It's all Fry's or Kroger. I think Kroger Foods. Food
Line, Kroger, Circle D, whatever, Square D, whatever they are. Yeah, that's electronics, but whatever. Yeah, there's not very many of them. Not very many independent ones left, anyway.
Right, so
which is the same thing that happened to forums. Forums are the grocery stores. They're gone, and Walmart exists, which is Facebook.
And that's one of my favorite things. That's a great example. Like I always say, like a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? Mm-hmm. A metaphor is worth 1,000 pictures. Mm-hmm. And it's people like, a metaphor? What a bookish nerd. But like, no, a metaphor. Like if you understand what Walmart did to small town Main Street, you understand what Facebook did
to the internet,
to the local homegrown forum. That's the same thing.
So we're talking about growing forums back to what they used to be. And this is an issue that I've seen with a couple of the forums that have tried to become forums again in modern days, is the forum will be like, all right, we have a forum. Here it is. Come check it out. And you'll have 2 weeks of heavy-hitting content. People are posting. People are awesome. And it's like, how do we get more people to this forum? We need a Facebook page. So the forum creates a Facebook page. And now all the people that went to that forum just share their stuff on the Facebook page. So they've shot themselves in the foot. And I've seen that happen on more than one occasion so far.
Yeah, or the other thing, too, is I feel like they're too niche, you know? Like, I'm going to start a Montero forum. Like, hey, Josh Mead, awesome dude. I would consider him an official sponsor of the GearHead project. With
there are no official sponsors, but he's a sponsor.
He's as close as you get.
Yeah, partner.
He's a sponsor without actually offering any money.
That's correct. Josh,
he's a shoulder to cry on sponsor.
pretty much. Yeah, when Fezzik blows up, Josh is usually the first person to call. Yeah. And he's so close, an hour away, with no traffic.
He's an hour away from you here?
He's like 70 miles from here.
That doesn't seem right.
Like to the 17, to the 10, to the 101.
That's a little local. We're going to get a little local here.
Yeah.
So to stay local for a second, the problem with Phoenix is that it's the biggest small city because it doesn't have a ton of people, but it's 503 square miles.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, where do you live? I live in Phoenix. Cool. Me too. Let's hang out. Well, we got to make a weekend out of it.
Right. So this is interesting. You moving 30 minutes away from me.
Right.
In the center, basically, of the Phoenix metro area. Of the 6 car guys, Mitsubishi guys that I've known over the years that have moved here from elsewhere that I've known online, you are the closest. Everyone else has moved to Mesa, to Chandler, to Gilbert, to Ahwatukee, to AJ. Like, really, like, you're the only person I don't need to buy airfare to go visit quickly.
But I also haven't moved my permanent home yet, so we'll see what happens.
That's true. The house 2 doors down is 231, right? Go ahead.
All right. How do you get people to move to forums, though?
How do we get people to move to forums? I feel like that's the problem we just touched on there. You start a specific forum, right? And we all think it's cool. We want that, and that's what we're drawn to, because remember it? We remember that's how forums were. But at the end of the day, the cars themselves aren't the thing that we're the most interested in. Like, you can only listen to so many people ask about what size tires fit on a Montero before you want to just like beat yourself in the head with a shovel.
I just had a thought about that too. So early internet, 2001.
Yeah.
You start a Montero forum. Mitsubishi's still making Monteros.
Mm-hmm.
You have plenty of people to come on board.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward, 2019. You start a Montero forum. Mitsubishi hasn't made Monteros in 15 years. So you already have that many less people who are looking to be involved in your forum. So you have a Montero forum that has 7 people who are interested in Monteros now, versus when people are buying them brand new, they'd be like, oh, I should go in the Montero forum and check out how to care for my Montero.
Because forums are where you go for this sort of thing.
But what I'm saying is the specific forums and that we're talking about, like, I feel we'd have a lot more luck if you wanted to start a mark-specific forum or a car-specific forum. If you're like, hey, I'm going to start a Kia Stinger forum. You'd probably be super successful for 4 or 5 years. Right. Because the car's brand new, it's on the lot, you can buy one today.
I'm sure
people are going to buy it, they're going to Google it, there's probably a Kia Stinger forum that's super active.
And they're going to sell a shitload of stickers and shirts.
100%. By the way, where are the GearHead stickers? I need some of those. Moving on.
They're coming.
All right. So on top of that, now we have the Montero that hasn't been made since 2004.
06 was the
06 is the last one? So, all right, we're talking 13 years of no production. That's 13 years of nobody buying a Montero except for somebody who has either a super enthusiast or finds one for sale on Craigslist for $2,300 and has $2,300 to buy a car, and they don't care about their car. They're just going to drive it till it dies. They're not going to join a forum.
Right.
So there's not enough people to support the vintage, quote-unquote, vehicles or one forum.
Right. So you're absolutely right that you're talking about, like, I've heard people call it like pie slicing versus pie sizing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the idea that everybody's competing for an ever smaller slice of the pie instead of just making a new pie or saying like, oh, this one's chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, pedantic corrections department showing up a little bit early here. Just saving y'all some time.
All right.
You did say
we grade each other all the time.
You did reference the Montero not being sold and not being in production, which is to say,
not being sold in the United States.
Right.
And
produced to this day.
However, you started Montero forum.
Yeah.
You live in Phoenix. Do you really care what the guy in Japan who bought a 2019 Montero is doing? I mean, you do a little bit. You're just with more jealousy and anger.
I know. That's pedantic. Though.
Yeah.
That's why it's pedantic.
Yes.
So, but that's the thing is they're cool, they're neat and all, but there's not that much people, and the amount of time that any of us are giving to any one particular topic these days is slim, because our attentions have just been nuked by all of this Twitterverse bullshit, right?
Car people are a weird breed. We're one of the few people that does take a common interest in something and stick with it and stay with it forever.
Right, but we still hang out with gearheads. Like, both of you still have, like, you have a Starion and a Galant VR4 and a Montero. And a Montero.
Raider, but
Raider.
same thing.
Yeah. And the cool classic vintage J10s, right?
Multiple Colts.
Right. And you, sir, Andrew, have a DSM and Galant VR4 and a Montero.
Yeah.
Like, you guys still have all these things, but, like, a lot of us, like, moved on. Like, if you look at the Raptors, I got Galant VR4 seats and fenders, and I got a 2GT Cat back here, and a 2G Talent center section.
A Galant grill.
I got a Volvo B230 valve cover sitting up there from.
Oh, Andrew might want that in the future.
I've got an Isuzu Amigo spare tire cover. Like, I just realized I saw that today. Like, we have all these vehicles, but they come and go. They come and go in our lives. But we know people from all different communities. I know, like, you guys with all the Radwood stuff. Like, you're not just talking Mitsubishi people. You guys are the Mitsubishi people to a lot of folks. But, like, you're talking...
like a lot of different cars.
Right. Like,
yeah,
I just happen to own these Mitsubishis.
We stuck ourselves in our own little niche by accident. Like, people who've known me since high school know me as the Camaro guy.
That's right.
Because I have a Camaro that I've had since I was a teenager.
I forgot all about it.
Right. But people who have met me outside of high school and right after high school know me as the guy with all the weird old Mitsubishis. So
Yeah.
it all depends on where you know me from and when you know me from, too.
Right. So we have these, and just because we're not, everything we do isn't built around the car stuff, around the specific make and model that we're into. It's not. But we have other people in lives that we are involved with and we come into contact with because of the car stuff.
Right.
And that's what makes us feel like gearheads, right? It's like, you could be, like I say, once a DSMer, always a DSMer. The only actual DSM I owned was a 90 GST that had caught fire under the hood. Everything else was a 2 GNT, or it was a Galant
For our
VR4.
non-Mitsubishi people, 2GNT is a second-gen Eclipse Talon non-turbo.
Yes. So, like if you want to get pedantic about it, that's where I was. But I know people in the rally world. You guys know people in, like, the classic world. It's like, I hear you guys play Craig, Don't Tell Me. And I'm like, my brain hurts. I'm like, how the hell does he have any idea? Like, I totally forgot that the 73 Riviera ever existed. Magic numbers with a 4-speed on the floor. And you're like, oh, it had to be a Nova or a Chevelle. I'm like, my dad had one. I have no idea. My dad's had white stripes on it.
That's where I'm unique and Andrew's unique, because we both had fathers who were, like, hardcore into it. My dad subscribed to like 37 different classic car magazines my entire youth. So most people grew up learning how to read with like the Berenstain Bears, and I grew up learning how to read with Old Cars Weekly. So it kind of twisted my brain around a little bit.
Yeah.
To the point where I don't know how to do anything else.
Yeah. I don't know how I got it. I just remember being like sitting in the back seat of a that third row in the station wagon looking at the back.
See, we didn't have that. My mom had like an 85 Riviera. I mean, 85
either,
Regal, and then like an 87 Z28. So
yeah, we didn't have one either. I don't remember whose it was. I just remember looking out the back window one day and realized, like, man, I can pretty much identify every fucking car on the road by its headlights or the taillights. This was back in the 80s when all the headlights were like square.
Right. It was the positioning.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like I feel like our taste evolved. Like we are still we were very concerned with our specific project vehicles at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like we know everything. Like you guys could both come up with pick a car, give me $10,000, spend $10,000. You could do it like on the spot, right? But during the day, like we don't want to just look at that all the time. We want to look at other things. We want to see what the Radwood folks are doing. We want to see what the Rebel Rally's doing. We want to see what the latest OEMs are doing. We have all these interesting stories. Oh, hey, there's a robot on Mars taking pictures of Mars. Like that's cool.
That was super interesting.
Right. Yeah. So the latest interesting video, and hey, so and so, like Brad and Andrew, they have a podcast. I want to check out their podcast. So there's all these different things that we want to take in that are related to this. But the only place where we could find it all is Facebook. And Facebook lured us all in with the promise of you'll be able to find it all. And now what Facebook has done is the classic thing. Like, hey, we're going to give you this for free. You know that you means you're the project, right? Silent Green is people, And we all knew it, but we still came in. And now we've all been segmented up and we're only being barfed up the same stuff over and over and over again. Oh, like you like this question about Montero tires. What size tires fit? What size tires fit? What size tires fit?
And that's what happened with Facebook too, is that the more popular Facebook got, the more advertising Facebook sold, and the less personal Facebook became. Because now every time I log into Facebook, it's like, oh, here's what Ryan's doing. Oh, here's what Andrew's doing. Oh, here's what InBev is selling me.
Right. And then you're in like the Montero forum, and you got one guy, you got a Montero dude, and he's talking shit on another Montero dude about his business practices, and the other guy's he's like, it's not even a business, and he's like, well, I've got a degree in marketing from blah, blah, blah school.
Yeah, it's like, well, do you want my hood or not?
And and they're going back and forth, and you come in and you go like, what the fuck, man? You got a college degree last month, and you know everything? He's not even talking about this, and it's like, typical liberal. Like, what?
Exactly. Like, we're saying, oh, the opposite, typical Republican.
Yeah, it's like, fuck Facebook. If it's a boat and I'm going to fire, if I have a flare gun, I'm going to shoot it into the deck, and then I'm going to jump overboard and swim away.
Yeah, that's what happens in Facebook, unfortunately. That's what I was talking about our fictional Jeff, who comes in and he's like, oh, sweet car, Brad. Too bad that manufacturer was ruined by XYZ politics.
Yeah.
It's like,
I didn't know Mitsubishi still made cars. Yeah, they do, troll. Get back under your rock.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of niche, though, because then we're talking on a niche platform, right?
Right.
Like, you went from everyday terrestrial radio, all you had was morning shows, to now, I think it's on the new, I heard a joke, some comedian, he's like, oh, it's going to be on the new census. Like, there's a checkbox, do you have a podcast? And you can check it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Followed by, have you done an episode in the last 21 weeks?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good burn for some people in our audience that I know are listening.
I've heard most. That's the current thing, is they said like 90-some% of all podcasts, they were like 97% of all podcasts that exist did not produce an episode in the last like 21 weeks.
So I can relate that to Facebook as well. part of the reason Facebook has its super hold on everybody is other people's interactions with you.
Mm-hmm.
You create a Facebook post. People like your Facebook post. You see who liked your Facebook post. Oh, this guy I haven't talked to in 6 years in real life liked my Facebook post. Yes. Somebody will talk about your Facebook post. Somebody will share your Facebook post. When it comes to creating a podcast, sometimes you feel like you're sitting here talking into the void because there's no instant reaction. There's nobody coming back and emailing me tomorrow morning when the episode comes out and be like, episode was great. This is what I agree with. This is what I don't agree with. We should need to fix this. And even if you do have that, you have maybe one person doing that. You don't have your 697 Facebook friends to pick from because they're not all listening to your podcast. You have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 10,000, 100,000 people, however many it is, listening to your podcast. And they all finish the podcast and they hit pause and they turn their car off and they go to work and they forget about it until you release another episode.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for a lot of people that have a podcast, especially if they don't have a partner that they do their podcast with, to keep going with a podcast. So I think that's part of the reason that Facebook has stolen all the people from forums too, because yeah, I could post about my 1978 Colt in the Colt forum and all of my Colt friends would be like, sweet, good job. But if I post...
We all have these.
Right. But if I post my 78 Colt in Facebook and fictional Jeff in the corner here, who I went to high school with, is like, dude, that's a cool car. I'm like, yeah, this guy doesn't even know Colts. And he's like, yeah, that car's cool.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I feel good.
All right, I'm going to post more stuff about my Colts here in this forum. And I think that's exactly where we're going to with the GearHead project, as you're talking about creating a forum, is you're going to have a forum for everybody who's into anything that moves.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, so like where your old car forum would maybe have an engine sub and a drivetrain sub and a suspension and handling and interior and exterior and motorsport and drag racing. Like you'd have 87 different sub forums for that specific model, like piston chat, or in the vein of the what is it, the Nissan, the Infiniti, the G35 forums, their busiest forum sub that I saw was like,
lighting.
Check out my rims. That was literally like they have a category called check out my rims.
We have the old internet joke, the Subaru forum, all about the vape mods and all that stuff.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So you were saying like you went and test drove a car and you're like, I want one that doesn't smell like a candy store inside or something.
I don't think that was me, no.
Oh.
No, but I probably would agree with that. Well, it used to be you wouldn't want to buy a car that somebody smoked cigarettes in.
Yeah.
I didn't want to buy a car that somebody smoked vape in. Same thing.
So, where was I going with that? Damn. Oh,
I'm not in your brain, but
sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're not in my brain, but you did bring beer, and I may have had one before we started recording. So
It's all good. It's Sunday, man.
we have a forum, and you'd have all these individual specific subs. So it's great if you've got 100 people a day coming in, and some people want to talk about engines, some people want to have like I remember getting into a conversation with Cheeky Chimp on the Gallant forum about the different sizes and specs on the different intake manifolds available for Gallant VR4s around the world, and talking about runner length and diameter, and like if you want to geek out on it, you can. But when there's only like 12 people a day checking it, and you got like 100 places to post, it's gonna look like nothing's going on, and people will be like, I don't care, So that's why we end up at Facebook, because like you said, you see everything. So that's what I'm thinking with the GearHead project, is a place where like there's a category for build threads, whether you're building something automotive or whether you're building a business or you're building a podcast or you're going to lose 50 pounds before next summer because you didn't like the dad bod this summer. There's going to be...
That one cut close.
I was talking for myself.
Okay, good.
I'm going to get up and go to the gym tomorrow.
Right. I'm going to get up early tomorrow and do things with my life.
Yes. But then there's like subs for like, so all the car, there's like a car stuff, all the car stuff. If it's car related, like it could be, God, I hope it's not another Doug DeMuro video, but it could be video. Something.
You can talk shit about Doug DeMuro. It's fine. We don't like him either.
He's a powerful man and he's got connections, and I'm just a little peon.
I just don't understand him. I'm sure he's a great man. I just don't understand his videos.
Well, I come back to that. Like there's a lot of power and negativity these days.
There's also
everybody's uncomfortable and unhappy.
Yeah, that's a different argument. So
yeah, it's a whole side story. Lowest common denominator as well.
So where are we going with forums? You want everybody?
Yeah. So what the idea is, we want to build a community that is for people who are serious about. I want a community of cool. I want to go someplace where everybody's cool, where I'm not going to run into political crap. I'm not going to run into like religiously inspired crap or discrimination, and where it's worth my time to be there. where we take the forum structure that we knew and loved because it made it easy to drill down into what was interesting to us relative what was most popular in the community. You know, the most active threads would be at the top of the sub, right? We want to take that structure and put it on top of all the stuff that we're interested in. So we want to build a car forum that anybody with any kind of automotive or even transportation issue is interested in. Like, I don't know about you guys, but somebody says, hey, I bought this old Piper, Cessna, whatever, whatchamacallit, biplane, and I'm going to tear it apart and rebuild it. I'm going to fly it across the country.
I want to see that.
I want to watch that.
I don't want to
build
get
thread.
in it.
Yeah, I want to see
But
the
I'll watch you
build
build
thread.
it.
I
Yeah.
want to see how you know what I'm saying? So, like, doesn't matter. Cars, trucks, boats, bikes, airplanes, like, a place where we could talk about that stuff and we can share it with other people and people who aren't necessarily directly in our community. Like, if I'm into mountain biking, I don't need to talk to everybody that's in mountain biking. Somebody who's maybe a mechanical engineer doesn't know the first thing about mountain biking might look at something I'm done and say, if you rotated that a little bit like this and put a screw in it that way,
You get twice the torque.
change your life. Yeah. So it's like something like that, but where you can find the automotive stuff that you want to talk about with the people that you know that have the same things and the same interest, but not necessarily the specific make or the specific model or the specific location or the pursuit. Like, you could be watching somebody build a rally car and talking stance with somebody who's, you know, I don't know what the hell they do to make the tires look like shit, but, you know, it's like you could have all of those people come together, but
No negativity, man.
Right, no negativity.
Make the tires look like they look.
Make them look like they look.
Like they enjoy it.
It's all about the perfect stance, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I
Hey,
believe
listen,
that.
I've been taught since I was a kid with cars, and it was before stance was a word in the car community. My father always said, like, the way a car looks is all about its stance. Not that stance meant slammed on the ground camber, it meant the way it sits.
Yeah, I grew up hearing it referred to as
just
wheel
a slang
fitment.
term.
Yeah.
But you're looking for everybody to be included into a forum. You want people included because they're into cars. Not
Exactly.
because they're into stuff. That's sort of like with this podcast. There are plenty of places for people to talk politics, so we don't do it here.
Yeah.
You can go. You can find. You don't need to hear Brad and my opinion on it because you can go elsewhere and get.
Right.
All those who are listening, we agree with you.
Yeah, you can get hundreds of other opinions elsewhere. You
Yes.
can do it, but that's why we don't do it
Everything's
here.
Stinks and
We stay your party line. Just keep listening to our podcast. That's how it works.
I think that's why a lot of people like it when they come to a car podcast because they don't want to hear about it. The world is filled with it.
Yeah.
I want to go to a place where I can just look at car stuff, and some of it's like escapism, but some of it's like
Well, and that's why you or I both are more prone to use Instagram versus Facebook.
exactly. I can curate.
Even though they're the same company now,
Yes.
you can more curate your Instagram.
My feed is heavily curated.
Yeah, I look at my Instagram feed and it's going to be 99.999% cars.
Yeah.
It's not going to be 99.9% baby pictures, 99.9% pro-Trump or anti-Trump, or
Right.
it's not going to be pro anything else.
There's a space where, like, I'm going to feed my eyes here. I'm going to put stuff into my
Yeah.
eye holes, and I want to make sure that none of it is bullshit.
Right.
I mean, a lot of it's crap, but still.
Well, I mean, I don't. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I'm looking at pictures of cars.
Right.
It doesn't really enrich anybody's life but my own. But god damn it, if it doesn't enrich my life.
Every once in a while, I'll go through a phase where I'll do anti-gram, and what I'll do is I'll just post a picture of, like, stuck in traffic, just something lame and boring, because you think about
Note
it.
to self, unfollow Brian.
No, but I'm so sporadically posting anything there.
I'm just messing with
But you think about it, like, that's another thing that
They don't have to be the most beautiful pictures. I like seeing when people are just working.
Capture a
on
moment in
stuff.
time.
Right, right. But you can see interesting stuff there. But you know that social media phenomenon that we all are, like Facebook and all these companies are serving up like the happy feel good stuff. Like it used to be like, oh, your neighbor 2 doors down got a new car and you felt happy from like, oh, that's cool, man. New
Sweet
car.
Jeep, man.
Maybe I should think about that. Let's talk about. Hey, let's see how he does.
Well, you can rewind back 30 years to 35 years, 1985, and you talk about a quick snapshot of life. It didn't need to be a perfect picture. That was the whole Polaroid thing. Like
Yeah.
here's this camera, man. It doesn't need to get processed. Doesn't need to get
that's
set
what-
right. Here's your quick instant picture Polaroid.
That's
done.
what Instagram has copied, the format, the square format. It was
Yeah,
Polaroid.
it's Polaroid.
Even their original
yeah.
logo.
It's 20,
looked
2015, whatever your Instagram came out, 2014.
Yeah, but they give you all
Polaroid.
those filters so you can make the picture look the best, prettiest possible. So everybody, when we look at Instagram, we're not seeing people like making hot dogs and mac and cheese again. Like we're looking at cool cars, we're looking at cool places.
Hot dogs and mac and cheese. We were talking about this last night. Is like still at 38 years old.
Ghetto mac, it's glorious.
My favorite meal.
It's glorious.
My
Yeah.
favorite meal.
Yeah.
Just to go way off topic, we're talking to how old is he now? 4 or 5? Caleb, 4 or 5 years old. And he's eating mac and cheese. This is totally off topic. He's eating mac and cheese. And he was talking about it. And he's all excited about it. And I was like, I'm really old, man. And that's still my favorite meal.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, that
So
was
I would
the only
totally
thing we
post
took
pictures
home
of
from
that.
Chili's today from lunch. Like, "Nah, I'm not taking it. I'll take the mac and cheese home for the kid, please.
Yeah. And then you ate it yourself. Yeah.
But I might.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
so that's where Instagram's my favorite because you can curate your feed to what you want to see.
And you can with
I mean,
Facebook too, to a degree, but
Yeah.
it was easier with Instagram.
Mine is mostly like it's like cars.
If
On
you
film,
post memes,
Instagram.
if you post memes on Instagram, you're getting unfollowed. Period.
I have a couple people that I like,
Unless
I-
they're
I
car-related memes.
I look beyond it.
Wait,
car-related memes. We're all right.
So we all saw that one today. Like it looks like the Brady Bunch, the 9 pictures in a row. Like we all love the
And
not
the
you
stance,
saying
not you.
thing.
Yeah, I
The
did
stance
see that,
CB
yeah.
in the middle.
But I started on Facebook, not Instagram, because
Yeah.
I would have deleted that person immediately. Because I'm not nice about that. I really, that's why I like Instagram.
But see, that's the thing though. It's like Instagram. Like I guess there's probably some people out there that like. Can you imagine if curating your feed to only old Mitsubishi Colts?
He could.
I could do that.
Well, I know it's technically possible. I
I'm
know
twisted,
you could
though.
do it.
I'm not.
But like
I could live with that.
take your
You're talking to the wrong guy. Talk to Andrew about that.
Andrew. Like, could you like
No.
like
Yeah.
it wouldn't be it'd be worth a look once in a while, but
Yeah,
You
you
wouldn't-
wouldn't get bored with it.
yeah, you wouldn't look at it like every day.
Yeah.
So like,
Right
that's-
next to my bedroom when I wake up in the morning is a display cabinet. And a display cabinet on the top shelf is nothing but Colts.
It's beautiful.
It's not beautiful. It's gross. It's terrible. It's awful. But that's my brain, and you don't want to be in it.
Yeah, someday you'll have that museum, and people will be talking about you on Jalopnik, Kinja, whatever the heck it is.
Probably. And I'm very happy for that day to come.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
so have I adequately described the GearHead project, or because
So,
I'm not gonna lie, I've had conversations with people that are close to me, that are in the Mitsubishi community, that have said, "Dude, I gotta ask you what the hell you're doing." What do you mean? He goes,
I did that an hour ago before we started the podcast because I'm
Right.
not 100% clear where we're going with this, but now I'm more clear than I was before.
and we've talked about it a couple times
Yeah.
before this too. But yeah, so I've had people tell me like, "Dude, tell me what are you doing?" Because people are asking me, and they're like, "Man, Brian's doing something. It's really excited about it. He's still doing it. It's been like 10 years. He's doing something."
But again, that's the
is
Facebook,
he doing?
Instagram problem. Everybody
is he-
wants instant gratification.
What is he doing?
Brian had an idea. Why can't I buy it yet? That's the Facebook, Instagram problem. We get everything immediately.
I am okay. So why can't I buy it yet? So right now we have a forum up. It's been active for about 3 months, and so far the core TGP team is on. That is myself, Todd Sharp, Andrew Pascarella checks in from time to time.
Oh, that's this guy right here.
Yeah, that guy right there. He has access as a member of the TGP editorial team. John Rimmer is another Montero guy out on the East Coast, and the one and only Phil Hansford up in Canada.
Canada, man.
It's not a Mitsubishi Montero
No,
forum.
no.
It
that
just
just happens
happens
to be where you know people from right now.
but it just so happens
Yeah.
that 100% of the people involved with it at this point are Mitsubishi Montero owners.
That's because the best people drive Monteros.
Yes, 2 of us have white 1998s out of California.
Actually, if you look into the global, or the American at least, auto journalism thing right now, there's a lot of auto journalists that drive Monteros. I can think of
Yes.
3 top of my head right now without even thinking about
Yeah,
it.
best kept secrets
So,
going mainstream.
yeah.
But so what we've got the forum. It's running Discourse. It's awesome. It's better than BB Press. It's better than SMF. It's better than V Bulletin. It's better than Zenforo. As a forum admin, if you've ever worked as an admin or a moderator on a forum and tried to do something on mobile, like where you have to like switch to desktop mode and then zoom in and zoom out with Discourse, everything works on mobile. It's beautiful. If I see a word in the stock copy, like click here now, if I want to say click here soon, I can change now to soon everywhere on the forum from my phone like that. It's beautiful. It's like every forum webmaster's dream. And there's neighbors.
Yeah, that's okay.
So-
You're in a good little neighborhood.
And we've got a specific onboarding process that we want to make before everybody gets in there, because we want to make sure that when you come to this community, like, we're going to charge money for this. 2 reasons. Number one, we're going to build this in a way that is going to end up costing us more money the more people use it. And number two, because we want to make sure that the only people that are part of it are people who actually give a shit. And it's not a lot. I mean, it's the typical less than a Starbucks a month thing. Like, I'm thinking we'll get to $50 a year, maybe. We'll see how it goes. It all depends on.
I mean, we all pay $10 a month for Netflix, and $10 a month for Spotify, and $10 a month for Disney streaming, and $10 a month for Prime.
People are picking out their favorite YouTubers and podcasters, and they're doing Patreon.
Right.
So, and that you're not even, maybe you're getting some stuff, but you're not getting like a
It's
website you can use.
It's less than $5 a month is what we're looking for. And it's to make sure that everybody there gives a shit. And we're all going to be cool. Like, there's no assholes. That's the first rule. There's, like, no assholes.
Right.
And there's no politics, you know. Yeah, as people, like, I'd like to think that someday a community of people will get together and know each other so well and have spent enough time being open and honest and just being like, dude, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. Am I going to lose my job? And I have a thread about that on the forum. Like, and I feel comfortable enough in there.
But in 2016, that didn't need to be political. In 2019, that's the conversation I was talking about with our buddy Jeff here.
He's going to come...
Like, it was political all of a sudden. We don't need that. You just need to talk about, hey, sucks, you lost your job. Let me help you find a new one.
Yeah, fucking Clintons. So,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean?
No politics, man.
No politics. But I'm
Jesus.
being sarcastic about making jokes.
We
but
love the Clintons. We also hate the Clintons. Listen to our
Yes.
podcast.
Yeah, they will get you, or maybe they'll say
Maybe they
I don't know.
won't.
But yeah, that's the idea. Is like I like to think that at some point we will have a community where we'll have people that are calm enough and trusting enough and open enough and understand each other as real human beings enough that maybe we can discuss like political topics. But at the start, no, it's like, hey, Facebook sucks. Here's why. We're going to build this place. You give us $5 a month, basically, less than that. You get a place to hang out with car people, and you can talk about your car stuff. You can see other interesting car stuff. You can get to know the people behind that car
And
stuff.
unlike Facebook, if you have an opinion about the forum that you want to change something, you can contact you and help you change it.
And that's the other thing. So agency is a big part of it. So the way Discourse, if you're not familiar with it, like in the old days, you'd have a forum and everybody was a member. And then there was like a moderator class and there was an admin class. And admins could go in and promote people to moderators. But that was pretty much it. So that's when you end up with situations where you got like 10,000 active members and you got 10 moderators who are just doing this out of the goodness of their heart of their spare time. One by one, they move on to different cars. They lose interest. They get tired of babysitting. And now you have to find more moderators, but you don't trust the unwashed masses. With Discourse, like if you are there and you are there on a semi-regular basis and people seem to like you and you're active, then the system's just going to promote you up to almost moderator level. Like I think we've got 4 user classes that will automatically bump you to like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 is like damn near a full-fledged moderator. I don't even know what the difference between that and the moderator group is. Right now, it's like if you show up and you post an introduction and you read the rules, you're going to be at a level 1. Like you're not even a newbie anymore. Like you're technically not a newbie. And then from there, it's like, I don't even know what we can do. Like, there's sky's the limit there. But if people want to hang out and, you know, we joke around about it, somebody says, hey, I've got a hot dog stand and I'm trying to, like, grow my little hot dog stand business. And somebody else says, holy shit, I got a hot dog stand. It's in my garage. I haven't done anything with it in years. We should put our heads together. Hey, can we have a hot dog stand for them? Well, you guys are both pretty active on a regular basis. Stand up a sub for hot dog stand operators. Done. You don't need to ask permission. If it's about people in our community coming together to help each other do better, live better lives, whether that's build a faster car, build a tougher truck, do something automotive better, get an automotive job, just get the promotion, lose weight, pay bills, start a business, start a blog, start a podcast, I don't give a shit. If it's a place where we can all hang out and help each other do cool stuff, like build thread style, like forum style, that's the whole point. And right now, the only reason you can't get into it yet is because I haven't built a forum in 15 years. And I'm using brand new software. And we want to make sure that everything works perfectly. I want it seamless. I want somebody to know exactly what they're getting into before they give a credit card number to pay for it. And then, yeah, I wasn't going to smack the table, but that was a good catch. Sorry.
It was real close.
But you know what I mean? Like, that's the idea is I want to make sure this perfect because I care about this. I need people to say, if I'm going to ask people for money, I want to make damn sure that it's like, we're not asking you for money just so we don't show you ads or we don't sell your data. No, we're building something for us, for everyone who comes to this, who wants to be part of this. We're going to help each other do whatever the hell we need to get done, whether that's car-related, life-related, business-related, job-related, mental health-related. Whatever we got to do, we're going to do it. And the more this thing grows, the more we have to invest into our own community and to build more. And so that's where the super issue comes in. That's the thing that we're going to try to wrap up probably around the end of the year.
So super issue, we're talking the print.
So the
version.
super issue is a print issue.
So this goes back to Gearbox magazine, but it's called GearHead Project
The
magazine.
Gearhead Project magazine. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to keep doing printed stuff. Maybe we'll do one or two. I don't know how many printed issues a year we're going to do. But the super issue...
Almost like anthologies, if you did 1 or 2 a year or something.
Right.
Actually, building the forum would create content for a print issue as well. But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's where I see the future of the Gearhead Project content coming from. Like, you go to the free blog, you subscribe to the free newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like we're going to find lots of stories from there because I don't need to go to Facebook to find it. You know, I don't need to, like, check Reddit. Hopefully there's something interesting that isn't just another, like, Photoshop or
Meme.
rendering or meme or something, right? It's something legit. It's like, holy crap, look what these guys did.
Right.
And it's in here.
I forgot Reddit existed, actually. That's how old I am now.
It's not what it used. It's not what it
Nothing's
used,
what it used to be.
Nothing's what it used to be.
Old man yells at cloud.
Yeah. I don't have a lawn, or I'd tell somebody to get off it right now.
Well, if it's Phoenix, you
Yeah.
would. Did
So-
in Phoenix, you would.
Yeah. So I mean, that's
Tell me
basically
that
where
for
we're going.
rocks.
Yeah, get off my rocks.
Yeah. So my zero escape. So yeah, I mean, right now the idea is with the Gearhead project is we're building this forum. We want to make sure that the automation and everything works flawlessly. Because if I'm asking people to pay money, it's got to be pro. It's got to be legit.
Mm-hmm.
And I want people, when I flip that switch and it goes live, I want it to go there. So
You gotta ship out stickers.
yeah,
Stickers.
we're working on
Pay
merch.
money, I want a sticker.
Todd and I are working on some next level merch that I'm not at liberty to discuss quite yet, but
Okay.
it's pretty interesting.
Brain implants.
No,
All right,
we're
good.
not
We're
going.
good. We're good then.
We're not going Johnny Mnemonic till at least
Yeah.
2022. It'll be part of the app. So, but so we're working on that, and right now I've just got the core team in there. Like I said, Andrew and them. We're working through some things about how we want all these different pieces to work and come together and make sure that everything is cool. Then we're going to invite the beta testers in, which are predominantly the people that were in the Super Issue podcast conversations back in April. So those people, because those are gearheads like us. These are people that are doing something different or more with the automotive knowledge. And so I feel like by the end of the year, we should have all the bugs and all the wrinkles, smoothed out, everything ready to go. I think it would be the best Christmas present to me ever to be able to say, like, yeah,
We're live.
let's go live. And by that time,
That far off.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. By that time, it would be kind of cool to say that, like, hey, yeah, we've got like 50 people in here actively using this forum on talking about all sorts of stuff for 2 solid months before it went live. So it's not like you're jumping in like, hey, this is cool. What can we do? Like, oh yeah, here's Tim and Kelsey in Peru, and here's Andrew and Brad.
No, it
with
would
the
also
Redwood.
be good to have content for people once you go live to see. Because if you go live, people are like, oh, I'm paying $50 for a bunch of empty forums.
No, that's not
You
even
need to
that.
have content there for them in the beginning.
Yeah. So that's the other part of it too. So I think we've got I think our short list is somewhere in the 30 to 50 people range for the beta testers.
Okay.
So, and I don't know how that's going to look like when we get that in, but I'm like literally my personal to-do list in the next week is to go through the transaction point of sale process from I read through this page, I put my credit card number in, I hit send, did I get my account set up, do I have the right username? Now, what do I see? Is that what I need to see? Is that the way I want it to see? Does it work right? Boom. And if that's done, then that conversation very quickly Todd and I will be having is, how do we get the beta testers in? So.
Okay. Excellent.
Sounds good.
Well, I'm all set to be a beta tester as soon as
Yeah, I know you
got plenty of content.
You got plenty of content. Content, schmontent. Like, you got ideas.
38 years of content to put through there.
Mm.
But we'll see what happens. Tons of
Yeah,
cars.
just between the two of you, there's like 7 build threads.
Well, I'm almost thinking, you go back and you grab old stuff from other forums and put them in over here.
I got an external hard drive full of pictures going back to maybe the second car we ever wrenched on.
It'd be
so.
good to go back and to go through stuff that I've done in the past, just to help me remember too. And then it's in a better place to keep it all.
Yeah.
You go back
It's
and
a
like, I can't believe I
multiple
did that.
Forums.
Right. Well, the other thing too, like, you remember that, like, we're all Galant VR4 owners. Well, at one point you guys still are, but like that was one thing I always liked about them. That blew me away. The USDM cars with the badge numbers. Yeah, the badge number and the VIN, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But the idea that, like, you had this community and that car had been passed around 3 or 4 times
who
before
it
you
was.
got it, you could find it. And somebody said, like, I still remember when I had 464 of 1,000, and I had my friend Chris Marciniak from SoCal pulled up on his way to Prescott Rally, and he gets out, he goes, man, that looks like Brett Norgard's Galant. I'm like, Brett Norgard, like, is he the dude that worked at like Bilstein or whatever out in L.A.? And he's like, yeah, you know him. I'm like,
His car.
I don't know him, but you know, Ken told me that this was his car. He bought it from him. He's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
hey honey, Brett Norberg's car. Really? Yeah, Brett Norberg's car. Dude,
Yeah.
he rally crossed the shit out of this
And
thing.
you're like, oh, that's why it sucks.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. But he
I
welded
know.
in a whole new front right corner, so like,
Hey, listen, Michael out VR4's
Yeah.
got a hell of a history too. So.
Right. But that's what I love that. So you think about like if you went back in time, you put all the stories and stuff in there. Like that's another cool. That's the long game, right? For a serious gearhead community, the long game when you go to say like, well, I want to sell my car now, but I want to make sure it goes to a good home, and I don't want to pay Craigslist and deal with those lowballers. I'd rather put it in front of a legit community that actually cares about stuff. Hey guys, I'm thinking about selling my car. People in the community are like, oh shit, he's gonna sell the car. I know the whole history. Here's the build thread back 15 years. Like, oh crap. Like, I'll buy.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
People don't like buying cars
Yeah.
anymore, though. That's the problem.
I'll wire you the money right now. You know, like, I don't even need to test drive it.
That's a Facebook issue, too, I think, is
Libra?
buying and selling cars.
Oh.
And buying and selling car parts is that it's become, if I can't get it for free, I don't want it. Or
Well,
next to free.
yeah.
I've noticed that a lot.
I've sold some good parts.
Really? I have a hard time selling stuff because people just don't.
Those text messages at like 1 o'clock in the morning, like, offering you like 90% less. I got cash in hand.
Yeah,
Like,
that's nice.
Well, did I say
I
that?
got
I'll
a pillow
be
on my head.
Yeah, I'm sitting by my phone waiting because I really need $100 right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
Speaking
understand.
of Craigslist, if I can diverge here for a second, I know we talked before we went hot about Craig Don't Tell Me.
Yeah.
And how I
I
am
think we
so,
talked online. On my,
Oh, maybe,
yeah.
okay. It's just like, I am so awful at that. Like, I just cannot fathom. But you guys did mention that, like, I guess Craigslist did a deal where they're starting to charge people to sell cars.
Yeah, it's $5.
$5.
$5 like one-time deal.
No, every
$5
time you renew it.
per post, which I think are good for a month, probably.
It's really not that big a deal.
No.
But people, if you gave somebody something for free for 10 years and now you want to charge them $5,
Photo bucket?
they are going to revolt. Yeah. Oh, but Photo Bucket's
Broke the internet.
well, Photo Bucket's
Obliterated
system
forms.
was the amount they wanted to charge people was not even reasonable. Mm-hmm. And it was the same thing. Yeah, you had this for free since 1997,
What?
and now you've put these pictures all over the internet, and we're gonna shut them all down.
Unless
They've come,
you give us
however,
$5,000 a month.
they've changed it. And they've come back, and now a lot of the pictures have come
Oh,
back,
really?
but they have a Photo Bucket watermark.
Yeah,
across
they're
them.
blurry. I've seen some of those this
Yeah.
week. Yeah.
But at least you can get the basic gist of the picture now.
Right.
Like if it was like a how-to thing, you can still see
Yeah.
how-to.
But at least with Craigslist, I haven't noticed a decline in the amount of cars, really.
I've been avoiding Craigslist like the plague because I don't want to buy more cars.
Oh, well, there you go. But I've looked at it for Craig Don't Tell Me.
Yeah.
There's plenty of cars on there.
Okay, because I was curious, like if that had done anything.
I think people just don't like the format of Facebook Marketplace. It's kind
Well,
of
the
annoying.
problem with Facebook Marketplace is it gets the car in front of a ton of people, and they just don't need to go through the effort of creating an email to contact you about it. They can just message right there. So you get a lot of virtual tire kickers.
Yeah, because it's like
easy.
zero effort whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's
They have
just-
one-click buttons. Hey, is this still available? So you click the button.
I'm
once.
just curious. I'm not gonna buy it. I just was
Yeah.
curious. If somebody
Yeah.
gonna-
Is there somebody on the other end of this
Yeah.
that I can annoy?
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
That's the whole Facebook model in general, which is what we're trying to avoid by doing forums.
Right. And I'm
People
so
who actually care.
I'm so excited about it. And you know, anybody who knows me, you guys know me, is like, if I was flying solo with this right now, like I would have the doors open, wide open, and it would be like, come on, everybody, let's do it! Ah! And it'd go crazy, and it'd kind of fizzle because it didn't have structure. And I'm fortunate that Todd, my partner, that I've met earlier this year through Instagram, because he has a Montero Gearhead connection, right?
Gearhead Connection.
He gets
That's
it.
a good one to remember too.
The Gearhead connection. It's like the French
That's
connection.
your singles page on
The
the
Gearhead
Gearhead Rush.
connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like J-Date or whatever.
It's just a bunch of single guys with Monteros. Aww.
Right. But no, it's nice to have so he gets it, like,
Yeah.
and it's one of the things that you guys you've heard me explain it. What I'm saying makes sense. I think a lot of people I've talked to a lot of people. A lot of us are having the same kind of conversations. Like we get it, but like we've just been down one road so long that it doesn't seem like, well, forums seem like the answer, but I don't use forums anymore. Even if they were available, like I don't know what to do. Like, I'm just gonna like share,
I think
retweet.
we need to remember we can promote the forum on Facebook when it's live, but we can never have a Facebook page for the forum because that's where every
No.
forum I've seen that's come back out has been killed because they create a Facebook page for their forum.
Yeah.
And now you've eliminated that even waning interest in the forum by putting all the same content back on the enemy.
Right. See, I had taken down. I didn't have a Facebook page for the GearHead project for a long time. Phil, in his wisdom, says to me like, "Oh, we should probably have a Facebook page so we can get this stuff out here." And I'm like, "All right, cool." So I used ifthisthenThat.com. If you've never heard of it, it's a great little free automation tool. And I connected my Facebook and RSS. And I was like, "Okay, if something new comes out on TGP, share it to my personal page, my personal account, and the GearHead project page." And then Facebook changed the API and said you couldn't send automated stuff to your personal pages anymore, but you could still send it to your company page.
That you pay for.
Because you have to pay them money to actually show that to anybody.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, that's it. So that's why like my marketing efforts are so lowball. Like that's why I say you guys are like naturals because you're naturally on Instagram and Facebook and doing these stuff around auto off topic.
Well, that comes from both of us having like photography. We love photography, so we got into Instagram because of photography.
Yes.
And it just naturally fit with the car stuff.
Right, fits with the car stuff, and you're actively out there doing car stuff and interesting car stuff at that. I mean, it's auto off topic, right? But it's like, it seems like to me, like there is a thread that goes through it. And it's
We spent the past 2 days doing nothing but car stuff here in Phoenix because he's been out
Right.
here. So we've done a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, pavilions, I heard, and...
Couple car
yeah.
museums.
And that's why I tried
pavilions,
not to
Sport
constantly post Mitsubishi stuff.
Yeah, like posted a Porsche the other day and a 67 Impala wagon the other day and like all the stuff
That
that's
was
not-
today.
Well, if people listen to this, it'll be the other day.
But it's
Oh, the other day, that's
it's,
right.
Yes.
It's stuff that fits the auto off topic
brand.
brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term, the brand.
It's a brand.
It's a
Right,
reputation. Reputation?
Yeah, again, it's
We're
that
not
whole,
into
This is
super-
Brian. This is his face. This is his.
We're not into the super brand new cars, so we don't post that very often.
Yep.
We're into enthusiast cars, so that's what we post.
Right, and generally, like we posted again, we're talking about that 911 was like a really super high-end $500,000 build, but that's not normally our thing. We appreciated that car. It was beautiful. I loved looking at it. Anybody who took a picture of that car that wasn't us got photobombed by a formerly junkyard resident Sapporo that was parked right next to it. So, like we're into the less spendy side of car enthusiasm. Like anybody can go out and spend. Well, anybody with means can go out and spend $100,000, $500,000, and they pay somebody to build their car, look at their car,
Do you guys
maintain
know?
their car.
Do you guys know Drew McPhee on Facebook?
I don't think so.
Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna have to
Maybe.
introduce you. He's a Mitsubishi guy in Australia. He posts in the Mitsubishi Motorsports group like all the time. Like in this
There's a
week,
Mitsubishi Motorsports Group.
there's a Mitsubishi Motorsports group. It's like international. This week he has posted like a Mitsubishi, like a 60-something Mitsubishi GTO with a Toyota swap, like a 2J
70s.
swap, something. Yeah, like yeah. He's posted GT, and these are things like $6,000 for sale right now in Thailand. Here's a Mirage. Here's like a
Yeah, get it
93,
from Thailand though.
93 Mirage Cyborg with a roll cage, rally spec suspension and everything, rally
Don't
spec
introduce me
engine,
to him.
and it's $3,000 Australian. Like if you can put it on a container for $1,500,
Don't introduce me to him.
that's what I'm saying.
Trying
Like,
to like create a retirement savings here.
yeah.
Old Mitsubishis do not make
Yeah.
a retirement.
So I'm sorry. I
They make a happy.
sidetracked
They
us,
make a
that's
happy
why-
retirement for me.
Yes.
but they don't make a good retirement for
Right.
my wallet. Not that I'm trying to retire because I'm not even 40 yet, but I'm closing in close enough to 40 to have to start thinking about it.
40 is scary, but anyway.
Yeah, well, you're close there too.
So you reminded me of something like when that Porsche you guys just posted that picture of earlier, that 911 with the leather houndstooth. I didn't even realize it was leather until like right before we started recording, and like I think we all appreciate craftsmanship.
Exactly.
And that's what was cool because we posted that car and somebody mentioned something about the interior and the person who did that interior found the post and was interacting with the person who posted it and us about the interior he built for that car.
yeah, that had to be with how you hashtagged it. I don't.
Yeah, that's I hashtagged Patrick Motorsports,
Oh, okay.
who built the car. He probably followed the hashtag Patrick Motorsports and the car came up and
That's
the guy who worked to the interiors for Patrick Motorsports now follows our page. And like Patrick Motorsports is a huge Porsche specialist here in Phoenix.
right. Like we all that's the thing is that we all love that. Like when you think about it, like that's why we love like the Koenigsegg's.
Yeah,
That's
like-
why we love the singers. That's why we love the Group B shit.
We don't need to be able to afford it to appreciate what it is.
Yeah.
And now this guy who works for Patrick Motorsports, followed our page, liked a bunch of our stuff. He liked pictures of your Gallant and my Colt, and like, so he's also one of us.
Yeah.
He's a car guy through and through. He appreciates everything from old crappy cars to $500,000 Porsche builds.
Right.
And he happens to work for a Porsche shop, and that's his specialty. But it's cool, like, hey, if this guy sees one of my cars now, and he's like, hey, I remember this guy from Instagram, he might have a connection now with this guy in the Porsche shop. If I see, now I know what he drives, see his 944 on the side of the road, I'd be like, oh, that's the dude that works at Patrick
That looks like,
Motorsports.
yeah.
Like, so
And
I'll know who this guy is, and that's just, social media is great for that.
Right. And
It's great for that, but but there's no personal connection with him.
Right,
until
and
you
on
meet him.
paper, on paper, social media, like, he follows you, you follow him. Now, if he posts something interesting, you'll see it, vice versa. But maybe you won't, because Facebook wants to think you like the old Colts more, like the Porsche
Or
stuff.
Facebook's like, this guy seems to use he tags Patrick Motorsports in a lot of his posts, so we're going to bury him down because that's a
Right.
business.
Versus if you guys are both in a community where people are
Right.
cool, now it's like, hey, here's
can
this
get to know
project
them
I'm
there.
working on. Here's this project I'm
Yeah.
working on. Here's
Like,
this
oh, I
project
noticed you
I'm
have Arizona plates. Do you live anywhere near Phoenix? I'm like, yeah. Like, all right, I'm coming over to work on your car with you. Or
Exactly.
maybe not that guy in particular,
But
but
we used to
somebody.
do those. Remember
That's how
those-
we know each other. Like,
Yeah.
I'm moving to Arizona. Oh, Brian lives in Arizona. Let's go get lunch.
Yeah, like Wrench Fest, like
I don't know, Ranch Fest.
maybe that's a thing I picked up from too many years hanging out with the
Garage days.
Yeah,
Oh,
Arizona,
okay.
Ontario guys, they call them Wrench Fest. Like, we're having Wrench Fest over at
cool.
Tosa.
Yeah,
And-
ones that have garage days. You
Yeah,
go
yeah,
over,
yeah.
You'd go to some random person's house.
There'd
Yeah, I
probably
remember
one
doing that
big
a couple of
project that
times.
was,
Yeah, there'd be 15 Subarus there.
Yeah, it was usually Subarus.
somebody
I
had a
remember that,
dumpster fire that needed tending to, but there'd be a handful of people off, like,
And
tidying things
that's
up.
the great thing about cars, because, and I can talk about this with Andrew all the time because we spent so much time doing car stuff together. I can pull a car into a garage, sit in a chair, and look at it and be like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Or Andrew can pull a car in a garage, sit there and be like, I'm not doing that today. But the second another person shows up, you're way more likely to finish working on the car.
Dude, I could have gone
So
to
it's gotta
bed
be
a
this-
half hour before y'all showed up tonight.
Right. But that's the good thing about this forum is you're going to get in there, you're going to promote what you're doing with your car, and then somebody's going to say, hey, that's cool. Let's do this together. Let's show me a picture of this, do that, and you'll do it because somebody's like, hey, I'm expecting that. That's
Exactly.
cool. Let's check it out.
Yeah, and it's not just more of the same stuff. It's even if you don't feel like actually being productive, it's still going to be worth your time, because when you go in there, it's a high likelihood that you are going to see somebody sharing something interesting that is worth looking at. So it can be good for escape. Like if you're taking the smoke break, nobody smokes anymore. Like if you're taking a break at work or something.
Coffee break.
Yeah,
Your vape break.
vape break.
I don't know if it's vape either, though. Coffee breaks.
Yeah, it's coffee break, whatever. Yeah, you're waiting for coffee or something like that. You should be able, instead of looking at Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, you can go to the GearHead project, and maybe in the moment, the top trending thread over on the right-hand side is like everybody's talking
Restoring
about
my chainsaw.
yeah, restoring a chainsaw. Like, what? Oh, shit, this dude has like a 50-year-old chainsaw. He has
Yeah.
taken it down to the last bolt and cleaned it
So
up.
I have a procedural question about this. So it's on Discourse. Discord? Discourse. Is there an app that will be easily accessible, or do I have to go through the internet to find it?
You know what? That's a good question.
Mobile
Right.
friendly.
Yeah, it's mobile friendly, but
It's-
I'm more
it's-
likely to go to an app because I can put the app right there in the front.
It's literally built mobile first, so
Okay.
it is designed to work great. So, like, I guess I was thinking about, like, an app would be easier, but apps, if you don't have data, app's not going to do anything either.
It'd just be easier to look at. That's all I'm thinking. Because
Yeah.
and again, the reason that Facebook is the way it is because they have an app. Instagram has an app. I don't have to go Google Chrome www.instagram.com. She's like, oh, Instagram. Boom,
But there's also
done.
merit too to say that, like, if without having an app, you don't have to worry about Apple or Google or anybody having
Approving
some
it.
say in what the data is that's collected and how it's handled and processed in their marketplace.
It's on the
This is
internet,
straight
it all
tested
is
to the browser.
somehow. Yeah.
So, and we're thinking we'll do like some offline events and stuff like that too. That Next Level Gearhead Summer thing that was a fizzle flop last year, that stuff's gonna come back up.
But it wasn't a fizzle flop because it wasn't good. It was a fizzle flop because you were busy.
because I was busy, and because I said I was racing to meet an arbitrary deadline, and then I didn't have the quality that was there, and I had zero planned as far as marketing and telling people about it. But we'll still have some fun games and online shit to do together. So
Awesome. Well, I think I have a better idea of what the Gearhead project is now.
I think I do too.
That's the goal. That's exactly what you're talking about. You'll have a forum where people can discuss things, and it's good for everybody involved. And this is our own 3-person forum right here, where we just discuss things and
Yeah.
made things better just thinking about them.
Yeah.
So.
I want a place that's everybody's there to help everybody do better and have more. And it's like, if we can all decide to put our heads together, like I could totally see like you guys saying like, hey, you want to start a podcast? We did all the homework for you. Here's the deal. Hey, here's TTP University. We're going to have a course you could pay a price, and Andrew and Brad, you can download Andrew and Brad's masterclass on how to start a podcast fast, cheap, and right. Pick all 3, and boom, you have all that access right now. Andrew and Brad make a little
We
money.
just got to figure that out first.
Right. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, so that's the thing. It's like down the road, like there's going to be TGP events in the real world. There'll probably be one-off or seasonal printing.
Or even if it's just wrench sessions like you're talking about.
Yeah.
What'd you call it? Wrench
Fest.
Wrench Fest. Like, I would love to have a day where somebody's like, hey, I need all hands on deck. We're going to put this motor in the car.
Right.
Sure, let's go.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
let's do it.
We're going to do everything. We're going to do everything that gets done out there, but we're all going to do all of it right for the people that are in the community and not give a shit about what anyone else says. This is how you do it, or that's what you should do, or this is what you need a Facebook page. No. If we got 5 people in our forum that want to do something, let's get those 5 people together. Let's make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is. Start a business, start a company, go to the moon. I don't give a shit. Let's try it. Let's get as close as we can.
Fly that Cessna.
Fly that Cessna.
Not with me.
Jeff, you can fly too.
Yeah. Oh.
We still love you.
No, we don't, because he was a jerk and we threw him off.
Okay, that's the other Jeff. That's
Yeah.
right. That's the other Jeff.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
That's the golden rule.
Yeah.
Treat others as you want to be treated.
The golden rule, right?
Yeah. The Golden Rule GearHead Project.
All right. Cool. That wraps it up.
I think that wraps up the episode.
That's quite a wrap. Thank you for giving me so much airtime.
No problem. So
It was very interesting, like, honestly.
you can go to thegearheadproject.com, right?
That is correct.
And read blog posts.
Yeah.
I've got some stuff on there. Brian's got a bunch of stuff on there.
It is Brian's site.
It is Brian's site. John Rimmer has stuff on there.
Yep. Phil Hansford.
Phil
and stuff.
Hansford.
AJ.
Yeah, I think AJ might
AJ
have
Vega?
a couple.
If I get off my butt, I
Maybe
could
they-
contribute too, but I don't get off my butt. That's
Yeah,
a problem. I have a real hard time with...
We'll work on it.
Yeah.
That's going to be part of the Gearhead
Yeah.
project.
Yeah, honestly, for sure. Like, I have... Andrew always makes fun of me, and this is, kind of behind-the-scenes stuff, that Brad takes lots of pictures that nobody ever sees.
I've heard these stories.
Yeah.
I've heard these stories.
That's everybody's got little hang-ups. We're all going to work on them.
I have SD cards full of photographs from events I've been going to since I had my Sony Mavica back in the late 90s, and nobody's ever seen the pictures.
But for photos we did share, you can go to Auto Off Topic Podcast on Instagram.
Yep.
We do have a Facebook page, Auto Off Topic Podcast.
Yeah, still follow that.
We
Like,
still follow that because
yeah.
we post information to it. Like if we're not around for some reason. or
also
we don't-
events. Facebook's great for events.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
the thing.
positive
It's
it
easy to
has.
share events. I like to share car memes on our Facebook page that we think are funny.
But they're on Facebook. It's fine because Instagram is for photography. Facebook is for memes.
Yeah.
That's my rule.
That's a good rule. I
Yeah.
like to live by that rule too. You can follow me on Instagram, Race and Anger. Brad is
TSISS350.
Brian. Where can they find you on Instagram?
Oh, man. I had to think about it for a second. It's B at TGP. That's B.at.tgp.
Which is obviously for Brian at the
Brian
GearHead Project.
at the GearHead
Brian.
Project.
B.at.tgp.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. So as always, keep your cars analog and aim for the road.